Yes, sir. Hope your kid is feeling better, by the way.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Hello, friends, and welcome to our second day of coverage of the ECL Pro Division Finals. My name is Brandon Bigsby, better known as B Major, and folks, we will crown a champion in the Pro Division today. ROBE Esports coming in with a 3-0 series lead over Vizio. We'll be covering the remainder of that series as long as these two teams want to take it. And folks, if you were with us yesterday, we had three really interesting games. ROBE Esports, as you mentioned, taking all three, but each game a little bit of a different flavor. ROBE winning game 1, 5-2. The second game, a 2-1 win in double overtime. And then the third game, a 2-1 win in regulation, where we really saw Vizio start to find their groove. So if they can carry that over into today, they might be able to make this an interesting series, but nevertheless, a long hill to climb. We'll see if they can make it happen. So let's give you a look at the bracket, show you how these two teams have gotten here up to this point. And as we mentioned, ROBE Esports up 3-0 so far in this series, looking to cap off what has been nothing short of a magical run for them, knocking out two of the favorites to win the division championship in Almost Famous and Golden Buffaloes. Not only that, but in this run, they've become arguably one of the most beloved teams in the ECL, have garnered a little bit of a fan base, people calling themselves the ROBE Ultras, and I'm sure they'll be out in full support here today, hoping that their team can clinch the championship and a spot in the elite division. While over on the other side, Vizio have had really just as phenomenal of a run. Maybe not as big of underdogs as ROBE were coming into the season, but still a team that coming into the season hadn't won a Pro Division playoff series, and last season missed the playoffs entirely. They knock off Pirates Esports in the quarterfinals. That seen as an upset. Pirates, a team that really had emerged this season and it broke out the best offense in the Pro Division, knocked them out in 6 games, and then follow that up with defeating Afterlife in 5 games, the number 2 overall seed. So two teams that have really had to fight their way to get here and have earned their place into the spot. But Vizio beating their toughest challenge so far in the playoffs, being down by 3 in the series, and again, going to have to win 4 straight here today to win that championship trophy. Now, we'll take you to the team matchup, showing how these two sides have done so far in their postseason runs. And man, you can see ROBE Esports just dominant on the offensive end. Now, granted, they've played a few more games than what Vizio have, but 74 goals for, 54 against. And I mean, their special teams has just been amazing as well. A 33.3% power play, a 90.5% penalty kill. ROBE, they have just been hitting all of the right buttons. They've been clicking on all cylinders, and one more game of doing that will give them that title. Well, on the other side for Vizio, again, Vizio, a team that loves to play a more strategic, calculated style of game. They may not blow you away offensively, but they're a team with great defense and great goaltending. However, ROBE Esports, at least in that first game, were able to break past that a little bit. And the lack of offense for Vizio has really hurt them. As we mentioned, just 2 goals in game 1, 1 goal in both games 2 and 3. So Vizio gonna have to find their offensive goal scoring punch, and you see the power play especially 5.26% so far on the man advantage. They were just as bad in the regular season. Have yet to hit double-digit power play percentages in each of their last 2 seasons competing. Not a good sign, but their penalty kill, phenomenal. Gave up their first penalty kill goal yesterday during game number 3. So some strengths, some weaknesses for both sides, but ROBE Esports so far with that advantage. As we'll take you over to the starting lineups for each of these 2 teams, starting out with ROBE over on the left side, the number 8 seed, and it's the same exact lineup that we saw from this group yesterday. Puntila at left wing, Yerki at center, and Tahizu, their captain, at right wing. He got the game-winning goal, or the game-tying goal, rather, in game number 2 to push that game into overtime. Well, back on defense, it's Luki at lefty and Aksu at right D, and in between the pipes, Viltsup, who we saw was absolutely phenomenal yesterday. We'll talk a little bit more about him in a few moments. Well, on the right side, for the number 6 seed, Vizio, they will also have the same lineup that we saw from them yesterday. Yetsu at left wing, Artuzio, their captain, at center, and Niepi at right wing, the leading point getter for this team in the playoffs. Well, back on defense, Yusotskari at lefty and Sir Latexi at right defense, while back in goal is Sake, who, again, just like Viltsup, has been nothing short of spectacular so far in these playoffs. Was really, really showing out yesterday. Probably deserved a bit of a better result than what he had. Now, we'll move over to the position by position, starting out with the centers. And you see Yerki going up against Artuzio. These two pretty much even across the board. Obviously, Yerki playing a few more games than what Artuzio had, but 25 assists, 16 goals, 41 points. The face-off number is very high for him as well, just north of that 50% mark, while Artuzio just continuing to show why he is one of the better forwards in the pro division. 23 goals in his 19 games played. He has 40 points, 17 assists, a 56.3 face-off percentage. Absolutely ridiculous what he has been able to do at the dot. You feel like he's going to have to be one of the guys that really does step up to lead this Vizio team if they want to make a comeback happen. Not only is he the captain, but he is such a talented two-way forward, one of the best 1v1 guys that you'll see on as well. So going to be interesting to see if he can step up for this team and help lead them to what will be a monstrous comeback here in this series. Now sliding over to the wingers, I'll be meeting these two on the left and right side. And again, the wingers for ROBE, just absolutely phenomenal all season long. I mean, these two have just really stepped up and found their way to be high-end forwards in this division. Puntila, 48 points in his 22 games played, had over 80 points in the regular season, which ranked in the top 5. And Tahizu on his opposite side with 37 points in 22 games played. He has really come along in these playoffs as well. While Yetsu, another talented left winger that was one of the better wings in the division during the regular season, he's averaging over 2 points per game. And then Niepi, one of the most experienced forwards in the pro division, spent multiple years in the elite division, a former pro division champion as well with Enigma, trying to find his way to helping guide this team forward to a comeback. 43 points in 19 games played. He's been arguably the best player on the ice for Vizio through all of these playoffs. So it's going to be fun to see if he can maybe step up and elevate his game here today. Now transitioning back to the defenders for each of these two teams, and we talked about for Vizio how good their defense has been all season long, all postseason long, and in this series as well, outside, I think, of that first game, you see Yuzoskari and Sir Latexi, both with pretty solid stats. Sir Latexi only playing in a little bit over half of these postseason games, but when he has been out there, pretty solid numbers for him. So we saw him really step up multiple times yesterday. I thought he was probably the second or third best guy on the ice outside of Sake and Niepi. I think he'll probably have something to say here once again today. Well, over on the other side, Luki and Aksu just continue to be phenomenal. Two of the best defenders in the regular season, especially in terms of their offensive capabilities. But what they were able to do against this Vizio team on the defensive side, I think, was really impressive. Vizio really didn't have a lot of comfort in this series up until the second half of game number 3. And what Luki and Aksu were able to do defensively to slow them down and kind of hinder their comfort on the offensive end had a lot to do with that. So as great as they are on the offensive side as a defenseman, they definitely deserve a lot on the defensive side as well. Deserve a ton of credit for what they've been able to do. Can they do it for at least one more game? We're going to find out here in a matter of minutes. And then last but not least, the starting goaltenders for these two teams. We kind of previewed it earlier. Both these goalies have been nothing short of amazing all postseason long. How about the turnaround for Viltsub? Had just a 74 save percentage in the regular season. So far in this postseason, an 83 save percentage in 22 games played. He has really found that next level so far in their playoff run, a massive reason why ROBE has been able to get there. While Sake, I'll be honest, it's stunning to me that he is below an 80 save percentage. I think he has been so much better than what the stats would probably indicate. Was phenomenal in the games yesterday, especially games 2 and 3. I think that if Vizio has any chance of coming back in this series, it's going to take Sake continuing to play well, continuing to step up for this team, and making big saves like he has so far during this postseason run. Again, don't let that 79.9 save percentage fool you. He has been nothing short of amazing so far in this playoff run. Do not be surprised if he steps up and maybe helps guide this Vizio team back into making this a series once again. Folks, we're just a few minutes away from game number 4. Again, ROBE Esports up 3-0 in this series, looking to seal the deal, win the Pro Division Championship, and clinch their spot into the Elite Division for next season. However, that's not the only thing we're going to be doing here on our broadcast coverage here today. We also have a few awards to hand out. We'll be handing out 4 in total. We'll be handing out 2 here before we get game number 4 started. Starting out with Rookie of the Season, as it's going to be interesting. As the Pro Division, obviously, always kind of fun to see who is it going to be for the rookies. It's always a little bit tougher within the Pro Division because there's so many new teams that come in. It can be tough to all compile it down to just one player, and you're kind of saying, okay, who could it be? Who should it be? Well, our Rookie of the Season for the Spring 25 campaign is going to go to Konsuk, the right winger for Fury. Konsuk, a part of that Fury team that really did emerge during the regular season. They finished 4th in group number 1, and Konsuk really a big reason as to why. Second on that team in points with 86. He had 50 goals as well. That tied for second in the Division 1. The best forwards in the Pro Division this season, is someone that really did emerge to have a spectacular one. So Konsuk for this Fury team, taking home a little bit of hardware. Congratulations to him, the 19-year-old winger, in was just his second season in the ECL. Played 1 season in the Light Division with Project X a season ago, helped them to a deep playoff run and had 76 points. Well, he did even better this season in the Pro Division. A congratulations to him, your ECL Pro Division Spring 25 Rookie of the Season. That's not the only award that we will be handing out here, as we'll do one more before we go into our game 4, as we have our Defender of the Season. And the Defender of the Season, something always fun to look out for, and a familiar name that we've been calling in this postseason, Lucky, the left defenseman for ROBE Esports, your Defender of the Season for the Pro Division. A congratulations to him. Obviously, that's not the award that he's looking to bring home today. He wants to bring home a title, but you kind of go back and look at what Lucky has done so far this season. I mean, nothing short of spectacular what he has been able to pull off. 74 points in the regular season, 60 assists in 30 games played. I mean, hard to argue with those numbers, especially as a defenseman, what he's been able to do. But he was phenomenal on the defensive side as well. 77 takeaways, 17 block shots, 149 interceptions. So I know a lot of times people can look at what happens with the defenders and say, hey, now, don't get too enamored with the points. Obviously, Defender of the Year is such a difficult award depending on what you value to hand out. Lucky, not only amazing offensively, but has been great on the defensive end as well. I'm sure his playoff run, obviously, not hurting his case either. 35 points in the playoffs as well, so not surprised to see him stepping up and playing the way that he has. Congratulations to him, your Pro Division Defenseman of the Season. As once again, we are just a matter of moments away from getting things underway. But while we do have some time, I want to make sure to once again remind you, our friends over at WellNet, if you go to health.sportsgamer.gg and put in the code SportsGamer1, WellNet will be giving you a 1-month free trial. They have all types of amazing exercises, and it is totally risk-free. So make sure you go to health.sportsgamer.gg, use that code SportsGamer1, and WellNet will give you a 1-month free trial. A big thank you to WellNet for their support. We also have a deal from our friends at Game Changer. If you go to GameChangerOfficial.fi, use the code SportsGamer10 at checkout. Game Changer will give you 10 euros off of your final purchase. They have amazing supplements, whether it's for focus, performance, immunity boost, or even sleep, Game Changer has it all there for you and all at the ease of just 2 capsules a day. So put in that code SportsGamer10 at checkout and Game Changer will give you 10 euros off of your final purchase. A big thank you once again to both WellNet and Game Changer for their amazing support of SportsGamer GG and the ECL. Folks, we are ready to roll. Game number 4, ROBE Esports up 3-0 in the series and looking to seal it off here in this Game 4 with a sweep. Can they do it, or will Vizio pull off the comeback of all comebacks? It'll take 4 straight wins for them to win the series. They have it in the offensive zone right now as a shot up from Yetsu goes in! It's a long way back, but a perfect start for Vizio, their leading scorer in Yetsu. Puts the puck in the back of the net on that pass across that hits in off of the back skate of Viltsup as you get a closer look at it here. And just a fortuitous bounce for Vizio, but you want to come back from down 3-0 in a series, you're going to need a few bounces like that. Vizio gets one not even 90 seconds in the game for a perfect start for the number 6 seed. As they're working it in the neutral zone now, Sirlatexi controlling it on the right side, trying to pass it across, but it's intercepted. One-time blast there from Yetsu, blockered away and out of play by Viltsup. Face off to the left side in the offensive zone of Vizio. They have to love the way they have started this game here so far. 1 goal and 1 dangerous chance. Wins it over to Niepi. As a pass in front to Artuzio. Shot was saved off of the stick of Viltsup. And ROBE Esports, they had to expect that Vizio were likely going to throw out a pretty big punch to start this game out. They know they're down 3-0, but they weren't going to lie down. As they have it in the offensive zone. One-time blast hits the post. Aksu let that one rip, but it was not to be. Here comes Vizio down the other end. Shot on from Yetsu, and he scores! A 2-0 lead for Vizio just 5 minutes into this Game 4. As you get another look at the replay, and like we just mentioned, you had to expect that Vizio were going to come out with a response. They know they have nothing to lose here at this point. No one expecting them to come back in this series. They know they have a long ride ahead of them being down 3-0 in this series, but you can't get it all back in one game or one period. Just taking it play by play, and they get a couple of goals here to start out this Game 4, a 2-0 lead. And like we mentioned, it's the offense that has held Vizio back, the lack thereof, in this series. They have responded valiantly so far. ROBE Esports in the offensive zone, looking for some space with nothing there as Sirlatexi picks it up and gives it over to Yusascari. Sascari over to Sirlatexi. It's a pass to blue line, dishes to Niepi. Niepi holding at the right face-off circle, looking for a shot or a pass. Gives it down low to Yetsu. At the right corner, Yetsu back over to Artuzio. Behind the net, Artuzio to Niepi. Niepi moving it forward, trying to get a shot off, but poked off his stick, and here comes ROBE down the other end. That's a pass across, intercepted by Yetsu, as ROBE not able to make things happen there. Halfway through this first period, Vizio, a 2-0 lead, 4 shots on net already. They have come out charging here in this elimination Game 4. As it's controlled by Yerke here for ROBE, tried to drop it back, but it finds Lukid, your defender of the season for the Pro Division. He gives it up to Tihizu. Controlled play there from Buntala. Couldn't find any space. Another shot in front. That one saved by Sake. Yepi moving it forward to Sirlatexi. At the right side, behind the net. Looking for a pass. Gives it back to Niepi. At the right wall. One-time blast there. Shot on. Was tipped in front, but saved. As Luki moving it forward. Trying to dump it in, but it's fouled by Yusascari. Moves it up to Artuzio. Evades the defender, trying to pass it across the Yetsu, but it's intercepted. 6 minutes to go here in period 1, and it has been all Vizio so far to start this Game 4. Controlled by Buntala, shot on, saved by Sake. Vizio not allowing a second chance. They have it in the offensive zone. Dumped in by Artuzio, found by Yetsu at the left corner. Bumped off his stick and found by Yerke, who moves it forward, and here comes Aksu up the right boards with pace. Pass in the middle, shot on, denied from the left toe of Sake. ROBE starting to find their offense, but Sake denying them time and time again. There's nothing there as Vizio forced to go back and retreat on defense as ROBE take over possession. Aksu giving it over to Puntila. Gets it down low at the left corner, found by Puntila, who goes behind the net. Tehizu up to Aksu, back to Tehizu. Tehizu over to Yurtki, back to Aksu, now to Luki. Luki to Puntila. At the left corner, gives it back to Luki. One-time blast from the point, saved. Sake with his 4th save of the game. Another one-time shot, that one blocked in front. Tehizu back to Aksu, another blast from the point, saved again. Another shot and they score! Tehizu cuts the lead down to 1. As you get a look at the replay, it was shot after shot after shot, and ROBE finally able to break through. And that's what ROBE loves to do. They love to cause chaos. They are a high-action, high-paced team. It certainly makes my job interesting up in the booth, but it's even more fun to watch. You saw a glimpse of it right there. As that is the end of the first period. Vizio with a 2-1 lead. But it was a 2-0 lead before ROBE were able to find that goal right in the latter stages of that opening period. As you get a look at one of the saves there from Sake, one of many that he has made. As we're getting a few different looks at that same save, but nevertheless, Vizio obviously not going to be happy that they gave up that goal, but still have to be very pleased with the way this period went for them. A 2-1 lead. They got off to a great start. I've already matched the highest goal scoring total that they've had in a game so far in this series with 2. Scored 2 in game 1, and now it's about as far as they went. Only 1 in both games 2 and 3. And see the stats, relatively even between these two teams. ROBE with the slight advantage in terms of the time and attack. They have 1 more shot on net as well, but pretty much all of that came within the last 7 or 8 minutes. So Vizio overall with the better period, but ROBE with the momentum heading into period number 2, as we want to take the time to make sure to thank our sponsors, Kovanan Lakrisi, Game Changer, and WellNet. A big thank you to them for their support of the ECL all season long. As ROBE have it in the offensive zone and move it back to Luki. One-time blast blocked by Yetsu. Yetsu gets it on the stretch pass from the Epi, but it's turned over, poked off his stick by Aksu. Luki to Aksu, now moving up to Tehizu. Got the goal that cut this lead in half for ROBE Esports. Couldn't keep it for long, however, as now Vizio working in the neutral zone, and Serlatexi had that poked off his stick, so that'll force the reset. Skari moves it over to Serlatexi. Up to Artuzio, now to the Epi. The Epi pass across, intercepted. Nice defensive play there made by Aksu. As Puntila controls it, holding in, gives it back to Aksu at the point. Back to Luki at the left side. Luki, shot, hits off of the helmet there of Artuzio, and now he's coming down the ice with speed. Loses to Niepi, tried to give it back to Artuzio, but finds Yetsu at the left corner. Yetsu to Artuzio. Up to the point, but intercepted by Tehizu, and Tehizu with some space and a 2-on-1 developing. Has Puntila with a one-time blast, blocked away by Sake. Moves up to the point to Luki at the left point. Gives it back over to Puntila. Puntila looking, holding, poke check from behind, still battling, and he scores! Puntila grinds it out, beats Sake, and just like that, ROBE have tied this game up at 2. How about ROBE Esports? As you'll take a look at it there, the celebration, but nevertheless, ROBE Esports just grinding away in front of the net, and somehow, some way, Puntila able to find that puck past Sake, and we are knotted up at 2. So the 2-goal lead of Vizio erased. And now ROBE looking to take their first lead here as they have it in the offensive zones. Puntila tried to pass it towards the middle to Tehizu, but it was intercepted. Yetsu controlling it. Couldn't find much as Aksu in the neutral zone and passes it over to Tehizu. Tehizu looking at the right corner, moves it down low behind the net. Couldn't find that pass, however, and now Vizio working down the opposite end. Yetsu to Artuzio. Shot on, save made there by Vilca. First time he's been challenged since the early to middle part of the first period. We're halfway through this game. We are now knotted up at 2 apiece. As a shot on, blocked in front. Vizio still working in the offensive end, looking to get their lead back. Artuzio's shot blockered away by Viltsop. Picked up by Lucky over at the left corner, and now ROBE looking to work their way down the opposite end as an offside called as Yerke picked up that pass after he'd already crossed the blue line. 7:54 to go here in the second period. 2-2 now your score. ROBE Esports with back-to-back goals. Responding with the first 2 goals that Vizio had in the first 5 minutes of this game. And they have all the momentum on their side as Lucky controls it, moves it in past the blue line, but an offside called as his teammate over to his right side just a step ahead of him. Neutral zone face-off coming up here once again. Tied up and won by ROBE. They work it into the offensive zone, but it's turned over. A nice defensive effort there by Serlatexi. Turned over as ROBE Esports take their time and work it into the neutral zone, but turned over there as the intercepted pass from Yetsu. But ROBE Esports once again able to get it back. Both these teams kind of being slowed down a little bit on the offensive end. Defense really starting to take a forefront. As ROBE get into the offensive zone, pass across, foul by Tahizu, shot on from the side, saved by Sake. Yappy at the right boards. Couldn't hold on to it on that pass as it's intercepted by ROBE, and now they work down the other end. 3.5 minutes to play. Spin move from Aksu at the point, gives it to Lucky. Dump down low, found by Tahizu. Tahizu passing front there, disrupted, but found by Yerke. His spinning backhand shot off the stick of Sake. A battle for behind the net, found by ROBE, dumped over, and found by Aksu. As a shot on there, poke checked away in front, and that's going to force ROBE to reset with 2 minutes to play here in the second period. Stretch pass intercepted by Serlatexi, and here comes Vizio, and the Epi controlling it. Pass across one time, shot and he scores! Yetsu, a hat trick for Vizio! Or a fish trick in that case. As Vizio retake their lead, a 3-2 advantage. As they regain their lead, and there's just a minute to play here in the second period. They have it again here in the neutral zone, as Yetsu moves across the blue line, still has control of the puck, holds on to it, looking for a passing option. Not able to find it, however. Nice defensive play made by ROBE Esports. Guntula controls it. One-time blast from Aksu, gloved away by Sake. And he'll hold on to it with 0.8 seconds left. ROBE more than likely not going to have the time to get off a good opportunity with just 8 attempts remaining. We'll see what they can maybe muster up as his face-off tied up, and indeed not able to do much. Vizio retake their lead late in the second period. It's been the Yetsu show for them so far today. All 3 goals coming off of his stick. This one on a one-time blast from the left face-off circle. And Vizio, a 3-2 advantage, looking to keep their championship hopes alive. So take a look at the stats. ROBE Esports with the advantage in terms of the time on attack by just a little bit under a minute, 53-second difference between the two, but just 2 more shots on net. So overall, this game has been pretty even in terms of the opportunities that both sides have had, but it is Vizio that have the advantage where it matters, a 3-2 lead. Heading into the final period of regulation, what could be the final period of their season if they can't hold on to this lead. ROBE, a 3-0 series advantage coming into the day. They are 1 away from clinching the Pro Division title and a spot in the Elite Division for the winter campaign. They have it in the neutral zone, looking to find the tying mark, as this is Aksu with it. Poke checked off his stick. Nice defensive play made by Vizio. Controlled by Serlatexi. Gives it back to Yuso and up to Artuzio. Big hit there on Artuzio, but finds Niepi. Niepi shot on. Save made by Viltsup, and he'll hold on for the whistle. Offensive zone draw coming up here for Vizio, who are likely hunting for that next goal. They know what ROBE are capable of. in terms of comebacks. As a shot on from the high face-off circle, stopped by Viltzup, and now ROBE countering down the other end, but that pass over to Hizu, not able to find it, but Puntala gets it back. Vizio wasn't able to keep it. Under duress at the corner and finds Oxu at the point. Luki over to Yurki. Yurki looking for an option at the left corner, bumped away off his stick, and now Vizio working down the opposite way. Artuzio at the right wall, poked off his stick. Luki making a big defensive play. Your defender of the season in the Pro Division. It's turned over in the Epi, moving into the neutral zone and giving it over. Artuzio couldn't hold on to that one on the pass from Yusuf Skari, and now here comes ROBE down the other end, but turned over in the offensive zone. So Skari controlling it for Vizio. Up to Artuzio, now the Yetsu has all 3 goals for Vizio as Viltzup had to get a hold of that puck. He was able to do so, and he'll freeze it. Another offensive zone draw coming up now for Vizio. And it looks like we may have had a disconnect here. You hate to see that. And it looks like we had a bit of a disconnect, unfortunately, in the game. I saw a computer there on the ice there for Vizio, but we'll bring it back into the booth as Vizio do have a 3-2 lead here in the third period. Down 3-0 in the series and looking to try to climb their way back. We'll see if they can hold on to this lead and take this to a Game 5. ROBE Esports trying to find their way forward. That's an unfortunate break there for Vizio. Having that 3-2 advantage, an offensive zone face-off coming up. They had kind of staved off the momentum that ROBE Esports had gained after getting those 2 goals to tie things up. So an unfortunate break for them, but nevertheless, it will give both sides a chance to kind of sit down, talk things over a little bit, and see if they can maybe make some adjustments here as we approach the halfway point of this third period. While these two teams get things set up and try to re-rack things here for this third period, we're going to hear a word from our sponsors and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll let you know everything that's going on. We'll have the remainder of game number 4 right after this break. Do not go away. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
Welcome to the SportsGamer Health and Performance Program. Nice to have you here. Here you have a large amount of different workouts from Wellnet, but also material just exclusive for you gamers. In your sessions, we focus mostly on neck and shoulder mobility, back health, and concentration. So give it a try and let us know what you think about it.
and ready to roll. Thank you all for sticking with us as Vizio holding on to a 3-2 lead here in the third period. They'll be playing the next 15 minutes and 10 seconds from the third period on. So if Vizio can hold on, they get the game for a win. If ROBE Esports are able to tie this up, then they would go from what in-game is the second period on and play that as overtime. So there we go. We've got everything rolling. Everybody's ready in. And Vizio has it in the offensive end as it's controlled by Yatsu. Pass across, couldn't find the epi cleanly. And here comes ROBE down the other end. And who does this break kind of lead to the advantage of? ROBE down by a goal and trying to find the tying answer as a near mishap there from Vizio on their own end will lead to a defensive zone draw for them. Like we were saying, you know, who does this break kind of benefit? Obviously, Vizio having a 1-goal lead, but does give them a chance to kind of talk about things and reset, while for ROBE, a chance to reset the momentum as Aksu's one-timer was robbed by Sake. It's going to be a very interesting next 11 minutes and 52 seconds. Vizio trying to push this to a game 5, ROBE trying to push this to an overtime or maybe even just seal it here in this third period. As they have it in the offensive zone, Aksu's one-timer goes wide. As Oh My is turned over in front of Sake, he's able to hold on to it. That's a couple of close calls now for Vizio so far in this game. Don't be surprised if ROBE tries to place the pressure a little bit on the forecheck, seeing that a couple of times. You see them doing it there, but Vizio able to get out of their own end this time around as Yusoscari gets it past the blue line, but not able to find much. Gets it back, however, shot was blocked. Found by Artuzio in front. Shot again there, saved this time by Vilsop. Lucky controls it and moves it over to Aksu. In the neutral zone, couldn't find anything, but it does find its way to Yurki. Aksu moving it forward, over at the right boards. One-time blast, and he scores! Lucky! The defender of the season for the Pro Division ties this game up for ROBE Esports. And all of a sudden, we are tied at 3. With 8.5 to play here in the third period. A brand new game. That's Vizio moving into the offensive end, but it's found first by Lucky, and an icing going to be called. An offensive zone draw coming up here for ROBE. 7:49 to play in the third period. Tihizu to Aksu, back to Tihizu, over to Lucky. His shot was blocked by Niepi. It's going to flip into the neutral zone and now force ROBE to reset as they turn it over. Latexi with it at the right wall. Takes a bump but finds Artuzio on the pass as the puck loose and recovered by ROBE. Lucky controlling it, but found by Sir Latexi. Moves over to Yetsu, now over to Artuzio, back to Yetsu, back to Artuzio again. Trying to give it over to Niepi towards the middle of the ice, but intercepted. And here comes ROBE down the other end. Just 5 minutes to go in the third period. ROBE with a goal could clinch the title. Vizio looking to keep their championship hopes alive. They have it in their own end, as it's controlled by Sir Latexi. Gives it up over to Yusoscari, who finds Artuzio. With speed, Artuzio shot on, saved by Vilsop. Battled for and found by Aksu. 3.5 to play. Untila's pass turned over. Artuzio dishing it to the left side to Yetsu. Yetsu hip check there by Aksu, and that's going to force a turnover from Vizio, and a delayed penalty going to be called against Vizio. ROBE with a power play chance coming up, barring a goal here. As Loki, puck loose in front, touched up on by Vizio, and a huge power play coming up for ROBE Esports. 1:45 to play in the third period. A tie game and a 3-0 series lead. The biggest penalty kill of the postseason of the season for Vizio. Loki at the point, shot on, save. Another shot saved again by Sake. And he'll hold on for the freeze, and it's actually a 5-on-3. My apologies, I did not notice that until just now. A pair of penalties taken by Artuzio and Yusoscari. As a shot hits the post and goes in! Tihizu takes the lead for ROBE! With just over a minute remaining! And ROBE Esports still on the power play! Vizio shorthanded, down by 1, and their season on the line. Tihizu puts on a move, pushes it forward, finds Puntala, up to Aksu at the point, to Luki, over to Yerki. Less than a minute to play, 40 seconds to go. ROBE looking to hold on, is found by Puntala, his shot stopped by Sake. Yetsu with it, he has all 3 goals for Vizio. Gives it to Niapi, now over to Yusoskari, who takes a big hit. 6 seconds remaining, last chance for Vizio. Solatexi with it, turned over, 2 seconds to go, and ROBE Esports, your champions of the Pro Division. The Cinderella story ends with a bang. ROBE Esports shocked the world. Your division, Pro Division champions, and ROBE is officially elite. What a story has this team been. They were the number 8 seed, finished 4th in their group. Everyone figured, okay, this is a solid team, but no one expected them to even be that good in the regular season. They had never made the Pro Division playoffs prior to this season. They had a great regular season run. They had to go to 7 games against Aspire in round 1, nearly lost in that 7th game, won by a goal. Pushed their way to the quarterfinals and knocked off Almost Famous, one of the biggest upsets we've seen in recent history in the Pro Division. They moved forward and played Golden Buffaloes, the number 1 overall seed. Everyone had Golden Buffaloes, I mean, basically in Sharpie to make the finals at least. So many elite division caliber players like McSavid, like Putzlov. I mean, you go down the list with others. Flyer Kungen on that roster, Ekin on that roster, Party Time on that roster. And they were able to knock them out in 6 games. The ECL community had galvanized around this team. The ROBE Ultras, they started to call themselves. And the Ultras are in full force, the pride in full effect. ROBE Esports in a sweep knocked off Vizio. They've slayed everyone in front of them. And the team formerly known as Rocking Bears, they are roaring all the way to the Elite Division, your Pro Division champions for the Spring 25 season. Congratulations to them. We'll see if we can maybe get an interview with somebody on the ROBE Esports side, but you know, they ended things off so quickly, we didn't even get a chance to hand out all of our awards for the season, so let's go ahead and get to that, as we do have a couple of more awards to hand out, starting out with our goaltender of the season. So many talented goalies in the Pro Division season after season. Goalie, I think most would tell you, probably the most stacked position in the entire ECL from division to division. And this is going to be a tough one to hand out, but I think there's one specific name, I mentioned him earlier, that a lot of people probably would be looking for to potentially win this award. We'll see if he's the one that gets it as your goaltender of the season. For the Pro Division, the Spring 25 campaign is McSavid, the goaltender for Golden Buffaloes. Again, no surprise to see McSavid win this award. He is a former goalie of the season candidate on the elite side of things. Such a talented goalie. No surprise to see him win this award. Golden Buffaloes, obviously, as you mentioned, they were the favorites probably to win this division. Knocked out as the number 1 seed by the eventual champions of ROBE Esports. However, they do still have a chance to earn their way into Elite via a relegation playoff. But congratulations to McSavid. He had an 82.98 save percentage in the regular season, followed it up with an 84.6 in the postseason. Well deserved for him. Congratulations to him, as we have one more award to hand out, and that is our forward of the season. Again, just so many quality candidates. We had a lot of guys that were considered. Wouldn't be surprised, however, if you maybe saw a couple of players from one of these 2 teams be considered. You know, a couple of names that I would probably throw out there. Audrey for Wincy, 2 of the Pirates Esports guys that rocked it so far. You know, you look at a couple of the Fury forwards that really stepped up. Potslov, another one that you could probably put in there. And as we mentioned, a couple of the forwards from ROBE Esports, especially Puntala, who really stepped up and played well this season, was really, really good in the postseason. Let's find out who it ends up being. Your forward of the season for the Pro Division, gonna go to Puntila. No surprise there. Puntila, again, just absolutely phenomenal all season long. Carried that over into the playoffs. He had 84 points in the regular season, 38 goals, 46 assists, and then you look at his playoff run, led all players in points with 48 in 22 games played, 26 goals, 22 assists during his postseason run. I don't think many people are going to argue that is a well-deserved choice. Always a lot of debate on who should win which awards. There's so many players that you could say deserve it on really any position, but definitely not going to be too much debate, I think, on Puntila, especially with how he played in the postseason. So congratulations to him. Not only a champion, but also your forward of the season. We'll see if he can carry that over into the Elite Division. So congratulations to all of our award winners. And man, oh man, once again, how about this run from ROBE Esports? Just absolutely phenomenal. The run that they have had. Again, we've seen the ECL community really kind of come together around this team because of the amazing run that they've been on. They've really kind of embraced that. And now they're going to be playing the best of the best in Europe next season. They'll be in the Elite Division. They take home their first ever ECL trophy. And look at the other side as well for Vizio. Such a great season. This is a Vizio team that, where as great as they are, you don't want this to get lost, how good of a season they had. Made it to the finals, the deepest playoff run that they have ever had in their history here. A team that didn't even make the playoffs last season. They missed out on the playoffs a season ago by just one single point. That was it. SSK Esports took that last playoff spot from them. And interestingly enough, they made it into the finals and lost in a sweep and eventually made their way into the Elite Division. This season in the Elite Division, they made the playoffs and fell to the eventual runner-ups in Mythic. So Vizio, their chances not done. They still could be elite for next season. They know now what they will have to do. They will have to win the relegation playoff. They will be facing off against On-State Esports, who finished in 15th in the Elite Division. As we'll see if they can earn their way in. Obviously, Artuzio, one of the better players that you'll find in the ECL community, especially on the 1v1 side, hasn't played in the Elite Division, so kind of surprising for someone that, you know, is as talented as he is. He played 8 games in the Elite Division back in ECL 4, played with Resurrection in ECL 8, Miracle in ECL 9, but ever since that ECL 9 season, he's been down in the lower divisions, whether it's in Light, whether it's in Pro. He has taken his Vizio team and has led them to this point. We'll see if he can guide his team all the way to the elite spot. But nevertheless, today, all about ROBE Esports. They take home the championship in a 4-0 sweep over Vizio. But congratulations to them. Well deserved. We're still trying to see if we can maybe get an interview set up here from one of the ROBE Esports guys. We'd love to potentially hear from them and just what they're feeling taking home this Pro Division title, just kind of capping off the run that they have been on, and just, again, the fan support that they have had as well. It's going to be interesting to see maybe what they have to say, so hopefully we do get to talk to one of their representatives, but nevertheless, a big congratulations to them. And, you know, as we'll bring things back into the booth here for now. We love seeing Puntila's face, but I think everyone sees he's the forward of the season. As, again, ROBE Esports moving on into the Elite Division, clinching themselves the championship. As it looks like we do have an interview set. Luki, the defender of the season, by the way, and a champion for ROBE Esports. Luki, congratulations, my friend. How's it feel, man? Pro Division champions and your team officially going to Elite next season.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It feels good. No one really. I don't really think no one would knew this would happen. But I'm really proud of all of our guys. We have grinded so hard, and everyone has taken huge steps throughout the season. So I'm really proud of the guys, and it feels very good to finally win something. I have been playing a couple of years and finally win something, so it feels really good.
Hey, I can only imagine. You mentioned something there that no one would have expected you guys to make it to this point. You had such a phenomenal regular season, and it seems like you really elevated your game in this postseason run. What do you feel like was the key to the ROBE Esports success throughout this entire run that you've had?
The chemistry. We have like roles. Everyone knows everyone's roles. Like and Yeah, the chemistry just and everyone has taken huge steps forward, and we have talked a lot how we want to play, and everyone likes the system how we play, and it has worked very well, and everyone taken huge steps throughout the season, and that's the key, I think.
You guys have been Dragon Slayers throughout this postseason run as well. We talked about it a little bit before we had you join us, but some of the teams that you were able to knock off, I mean, veteran teams that are not just filled with pro division talent, but elite division talent as well. You knock off Almost Famous, you knock off Golden Buffaloes, and now you knock off an experienced Vizio team. You guys were probably seen as the underdog in a majority of these series. But I mean, how does it feel to be able to not just win a championship, but to arguably have the most impressive path that we've seen to a championship, arguably in the history of this division?
Yeah, of course it's special to win this way. We had the hardest way to this final. We talked about that when we won Almost Famous and Buffaloes. That were our finals. That were our finals easily, because everyone knows how good Almost Famous is. I have been playing with all of them guys really much, and I know how good they are and how competitive they are. So it's huge for us to win those kind of teams in a best of 7 series. I'm really proud of everyone, and it's a huge thing for us.
Just a couple of more questions for you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You guys have really become one of the more beloved clubs that I think I've seen over my time covering. People calling themselves the ROBE Ultras, everyone that was doubting you guys. It feels like you've kind of gained a bit of a cult following almost. What does that support mean to you guys to see so many, not just people, but really some really well-known and high-end players in the community kind of showing their support for you guys and becoming fans of this club all the way to a championship title?
Yeah, we have our goat Jakke doing some great background work for us and making all these nice tifos that we can post on social media. So shout out to Jakke, our second goalie. Shout out to him. And yeah, it feels good to make something like this, and ROBE Ultras. Everyone, a lot of people knows ROBE Ultras, and yeah, it feels special.
Question here for you, Luki. You guys are bound for the elite division. I mean, how does it feel saying that you will be able to play with the best of the best in all of Europe here coming into the Winter 26 campaign?
Yeah, it feels great. I didn't know before this season that it would end like this and promotion to elite. I have been playing a long time and now my first season in elite is going to be very fun, and I didn't believe this, but everything can happen in hockey.
Anything and everything, my friend. ROBE Esports, the Pro Division champions. Luki, thank you so much for taking the time. Is there anything that you would like to say? Anyone you'd like to shout or thank before we let you go here?
Shout out to all my teammates, especially the young guys, Jyrki and Tihitsu. Not very many knew these guys. Like Jyrki maybe played his first ECL game, and he's a young guy, 15, 16 years old, doing this great. Shout out to him, and all Puntila, superstar left wing Aksu, taking huge steps. Was good to play with him, and Wiltsup, goat in net, saved us so many times. So shout out to all my teammates.
That's absolutely awesome. Congratulations, Luki. You also won Defender of the Season. Not sure if you were listening to the broadcast and are aware of that, but congratulations to you on that as well. A great day for you and the ROBE Esports guys. Puntila winning Forward of the Season, you winning Defender of the Season, and obviously, most importantly, ROBE Esports, your Pro Division champions. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you again for taking the time. Go enjoy it with your teammates.
Thank you so much. I will.
Thanks again to Luki for hearing from us. Absolutely phenomenal. What a great interview. It's always so fun to hear from these guys and just kind of hear the genuine excitement in their voice. You grind for months and months to get to this point, and even outside of that, you put the roster together, you practice together, you put in all of that work, even behind the scenes, outside of the games that are in competition. I mean, so fun to see that all pay off for any team. How about ROBE Esports? Their magical run capped off with a Pro Division championship. Congratulations to them. They knocked off Vizio in a sweep, and like someone else mentioned, did it in a pretty impressive fashion. The only team that took them past 6 games was Aspire, the number 5 seed in that number 4 versus 5 seed matchup. Well earned for ROBE Esports. They are on to the Elite Division for next season. As folks, before we sign off, we'll give you one final look at the bracket just to kind of cap off the entire story. As ROBE Esports, it may not be in on the bracket, but you just saw it with your own eyes. They sweep Vizio 4-0. They are your ECL Pro Division champions. Vizio, they still have a shot at Elite, as we mentioned. They'll go up against Onsei Esports in the Elite Division relegation playoff. Afterlife and Golden Buffaloes will be the other two teams competing for playoff spots. Afterlife will be playing against Blackbirds, last season's Pro Division champions, while Golden Buffaloes will go up against Nova, another team that was promoted from the Pro Division a season ago. So those relegation playoffs are going to be very, very interesting. A couple of the teams that earned promotion a season ago, all three of those teams actually earned promotion this season. Onsei through the qualifier, and then Blackbirds as the champions, Nova as a semifinalist that won a playoff. They're all going to have to fight to keep their place up there against three more hungry teams trying to earn their way into the ECL's top flight. But ROBE, not going to have to worry about any of that. They have clinched that number one spot into the Elite Division, your Pro Division champions. Once again, a congratulations to them, and congratulations to Vizio as well on a great season, as we'll bring you back into the booth one final time. Folks, always so fun to cover this Pro Division season after season. That does it for our Pro Division coverage this season. However, we are not done for the ECL. We will have coverage next week. The plan, we will be live on Monday and Tuesday with the Light Division finals, Wednesday and Thursday with the Core Division finals, and then 2 Sundays from now, not this upcoming Sunday, but June 29th, our Neo Division final. So 5 more broadcasts here of our ECL coverage of the Spring 25 season. We are not done just yet. We might be done with the Elite and Pro Division, but our lower divisions still have some champions to be decided, and you'll be able to see it all right here at twitch.tv/ReactioMedia. You can also find us on our YouTube page at ReactioMedia, or you can also find us on Twitter at SportsGamerGG, as we also want to make sure to thank our sponsors once again, COVID Game Changer, and WellNet for their amazing support of the ECL and SportsGamerGG all season long. A big thank you to Ken and the SportsGamerGG and ECL staff for putting this event on the way they do. And then a shout out to our amazing producer, Chris Ryan, behind the scenes. A big thank you to him. Everything that you see on the broadcast, all him, the best in the business, bar none. Folks, that'll do it for our coverage here today. A pretty quick broadcast, but we have a champion crowned. Congratulations to ROBE Esports, your champions of the Pro Division. They're on to Elite for the Winter 26 season. Thank you all for joining us. My name is B Major, and we'll see you right back here on Monday for our Light Division Finals coverage. Thank you all for joining us, and have a great, safe, blessed, and healthy rest of your evening.
Welcome to the SportsGamer Health and Performance Program. Nice to have you here. Here you have a large amount of different workouts from WellNet, but also material just exclusive for you gamers. In your sessions, we focus mostly on neck and shoulder mobility, back health, and concentration. So give it a try and let us know what you think about it.
Hello, friends, and welcome to our coverage of the ECL Elite Division Finals right here at twitch.tv/ReactioMedia. My name is Brandon Bigsby, aka B Major, and joining me in the booth once again here today, Lottie Instrom, aka Sopley, the cover gamer for this year's ECL season. Sopley, how are you doing, my friend? We've been waiting weeks and months to get to this point, and we are finally here. We will crown a champion today.
Yeah, I'm doing fine, and obviously the biggest day of the season. We've played through a couple of months of the Elite Division here once again, and now it's finally time to see who's going to be crowned champion, and I mean, obviously, super exciting times.
The offensive zone, controlled by Sokolo, puck loose, found by Tempeden, shot on from Sokolo, saved by Hanselino. Your first shot of the game with 50 seconds to go in the first period. Mythic still pushing. Mike's over to Sokolo behind the net. One-time shot from Tempeden. Oops, looking over to Sokolo, his shot stopped in front. Puck loose behind the net and found by Tempeden. Moves up to the point to Akunku. Akunku at the corner, it's intercepted, and here's Eki on a breakaway! One-on-one takedown, backhand shot, he stopped! What a save by Takedown!
Wow, what a save on that short-handed breakaway where Eki had the chance to put his team up early on, but no.
from Takedown, denying Eki of the first goal of this series with a shot in front, stopped by Takedown.
Start, they got a shot on net, but after that, a tough giveaway, which led to a breakaway against.
The spinning shot in front saved by Takedown once again. That's another shot, that one off the right pad, another shot, another save by Takedown. We said it during the opening, Stopely. Goaltenders have made their name in the finals. Takedown, so far, so good early on. As 3 minutes to go here in period 2, and Nicky Dangle is going to go back and reset.
And gonna slow things down for a little moment, as this isn't what we have seen too much in this game.
That's a potential 2-on-1 for Mythic. Shot on, denied by Hanselinho. The goaltending has been phenomenal here in this game 1. Now with it, drops it back to Lawson, trying to find him all, and here's a breakaway for Templeton, potentially one-on-one with Hansu. Forehand shot, and he scores! Templeton breaks it open for Mythics late in the third period.
And how about that goal? I mean, it took us 55 minutes almost into the game for us to get an answer, but here it is, the first of the game, the first of the series, Templeton on the board.
Just trying to hold on. Their defense is their strength, so if you want a team to have a 1-goal lead, Mythics is probably the one that you'd want to see if you're a betting man. They have it in the offensive zone now. As a shot on, they score! Vedux doubles the lead to 2! Mythics defensively have been able to find something that has worked for them, and they have just 1 more minute to hold on as that shot was denied by Takedown. Last Dance having the pressure here. Eki, one-time shot from Nicky Dangles, and he scores! Hold on now! Last Dance cut the lead down to 1.
And we have a game once again, as it might be a little bit too late, but they are now within just 1 goal, and they have a little bit over a minute left to try and tie this one up.
18 seconds to play. Picked up by Vedux. Found, however, by Yamal, but found again by Vedux. Now Austin with a shot to the front. Alonso ties it for Last Dance!
What a game. It took us until the last 6 minutes of the game for us to see a single goal in this game, and now, after being down 2-0, Last Dance is able to climb back, and they've tied it up. And oh boy, it looks like we're going to an OT, possibly here.
Trying to move it up with speed. Finds Templeton at the left boards, now slides it over to Mikes. Back to Templeton. Trying to pass in front, finds Sokolo. Pass across and they score! Templeton wins it in overtime for Mythics!
And there you go, the winner in overtime, Templeton, the left winger. The guy we had for the interview before this series is gonna score the deciding goal, and Mythics, the number 2 seed, is going to go ahead, and they're up 1-0 in this series.
Last Dance now working in the offensive zone themselves. Nicky Dangles finds Yamal, puck loose in front, found by Yamal again at the right faceoff circle, pass across, shot on, they score! Puanzo kicks off the scoring for Last Dance.
And that's exactly what they want in this second game of the series, where in game 1 it took them so long to get any sort of offense going, but now they get one early on. Jamal the man stepping up on offense once again, as we've seen him do so many times, and just a beautiful, beautiful pass across the ice.
Halfway through this first period, Puanzo controlling it, shot on, blocked in front, puck loose, found by Alonso at the point, another shot deflected in front, another shot, and they score! Nicky Dangles puts it in from the front of the net, and Last Dance have found their touch, a 2-0 lead here early on in this game. And still in possession. Rostrom with it at the point, shot on there from Yamal was blocked, and here comes Sokolo, 1-on-1, your transfer to season, spin move, backhand shot denied by Hanselinho.
What a move, but an even better save.
And here comes Nicky Dangles, breakaway, backhand, and he scores! Back-to-back goals for Nicky Dangles! And Last Dance running away, a 3-0 lead in the first period. Confident in their game, is firing on all cylinders as a shot in front from Mythics is stopped by Hanselinho. And here comes Last Dance down the other end, a 3-on-1. As a shot on, he scores! A one-time blast from Nicky Dangles, a hat trick! And Last Dance are up now by 5.
obviously it's the wins that matter, not the goals in a series like this. As what a pass for a breakaway that is.
This is Puanzo! What a spin move and what a goal! Puanzo adding to the highlight reel! And you see the little celebration there on the face cam as well. How about this move? Look at that, putting a cuckoo on spin cycle there.
What a play. I mean, just one more time here on the replay. The spinorama, just a perfectly executed play, and I mean, a beautiful finish as well.
8 seconds to go. That puck gonna go out of play, and a breakaway here. This time it's Nicky Dangles. What a save by Takedown, as that will do it. A dominant response for the #1 seed. Last Dance, a 6-0 victory, ties this series up at 1 apiece. And a shutout as well for Hanselinho to boot. Kunku in the neutral zone, crosses the blue line, dumps it down, puck given chase, and found first by Lundstrom for Last Dance. Moves over to Jamal. Down the middle to Puanzo with some speed. Backhand shot denied by Takedown. Up to Lundstrom at the point. Holding it. Shot on. Deflected there by Eki, but saved by Takedown. Our play as Last Dance get it in the offensive zone, but turn it over. This is dumped out by Mikes, but picked up by Puanzo. Puanzo at the left corner gives it up to Lundstrom. Lundstrom to Jamal. Jamal moving forward. Pass across. Shot on. Denied by Takedown. What a save!
What a save. How is Takedown able to get across to make that one? Unbelievable glove save.
Gives it over to Tempinen. Shot on there, saved by Hanselinho. Can't get the rebound. Picked up by Veidux. Pressured from behind. Kick to the Mikes. One-time shot denied by Hansu once again. Last Dance looking to get out of their own zone, and they do. Eki trying to find Lundstrom down the middle, but it's turned over. Mythics in the offensive zone now. Tempinen over to Mikes. His shot stopped again by Hanselinho. Played 6 in the regular season, so it just goes to show you how tight these playoff games are. Mythics looking to add one more OT win. Here's a chance for Nicky Dangles. Backhand shot there. Denied to the shot in front, and they score! Puanzo wins it for Last Dance in overtime!
A huge win. A massive win for this Last Dance team, as we saw right there. Puanzo is able to be the hero of game. Yeah, well, from game 2 going into game 3, Mythics was able to make a little bit of adjustments in their defensive game, but now we're starting to ask the question of maybe they should try and score a goal.
Well, Last Dance took that advice to heart, as Puanzo wastes no time getting on the scoreboard. The man that got the game winner in game number 3 kicks off the scoring in game 4 just a minute in. Poke check from behind from Jamal, stopped that breakaway, but Mythic still on the attack. Akunku controls it, holds it up the left corner, gives it to Mikes. Husband front shot, they score! Tempinen breaks the drought and ties it at 1 apiece. Veidux up to Sokolo. At the right wall, centering pass in front, found by Veidux. Over at the right corner, goes in! The pass across to Mikes! How in the world did he pull that off?
Yeah, how did that pass find its way all the way to Mike? I think the reactions you see there from the players also kind of indicate that they are kind of wondering the same thing as that pass. I think it just goes through Hanselinho somehow, and Mike is there, tucks it in, and they have the lead in this game 4, which is the first lead they've enjoyed since the very end of that game 1.
And I'll ask you, Stopely, what do you feel like Mythics needs to do to get that power play going so spectacular in the regular season, but just not able to find much so far? And they have it in the offensive zone, and it trickles in! Sokolo!
I guess they just need to pick up the puck and skate towards the net and put it in. It looks pretty simple to me.
Mythics trying to work their way into the offensive end again, and they do. Pass to Sokolo, shot on, he scores! Sokolo, back-to-back goals! And it's a 4-1 lead now for Mythics. Dukes, but disrupted as he gets back. Whacks across, what a save by Hanselinho! Shot in front, another glove save from Hansu. Another shot, another stop, and it goes in! Tempinen!
that's gonna be the dagger probably for this game, as that's just tough to see from the perspective of Hanselinho there. He makes a couple of huge stops, he plays it out, it looks like he gets another save, but somehow it just trickles in, and passing it out costs him that time. But obviously they were down by 3, he just wanted to get all the chances they could possibly get.
That's going to be one that he would have loved to have had back, as he plays it out right there. Got aggressive and joined the play. Shades of Pecorine right there. And a passive crossed over to Nicky Dangles, and they score! Last Dance with a much-needed response. And you said that might be the dagger. Nicky Dangles saying, hold on now. We still have a little life left in us. ROBE continues with 11 shots apiece. As here's a chance here. This is Yamal back to Puanzo, and he scores! And Last Dance is creeping back into this one. They cut the lead down to 2. Last Dance need 2 goals in 16.2 seconds. Lundstrom at the point, moving forward, nearly turned over, found by Puanzo, puck in front, found, shot on, they score! It was tipped in front by Lundstrom! And just like that, the lead cut down to 1.
Could it be? Could it be once again? Just like in game 1, the final minute of the game, Last Dance down by 2, now only down by 1, but they don't have too much time to score this game time goal.
10.2 seconds ago, it's a 1-point game, and here comes Last Dance in the offensive zone. Puanzo with a pass in front, shot on stop, another chance, puck goes all the way into the neutral zone, and Mythics, by the hairs of their chinny chin chins, hold on to a 5-4 victory. This series is tied at 2.
Wow, what a series we have going on right now, as Mythics. It's gonna be a long game 5.
A one-time chance from Nicky Dangles intercepted by Akunku. Gives it up to Templeton, drops it back to Akunku. Akunku at the left wall, goes slot shot on there, blocked in front. Another chance, Sokolo backhand shot, gloved away by Hanselinho. Sokolo gets it, and works it behind the net to Akunku, and now to Templeton. Drop pass to Akunku once again. Nice defensive play made by Yamal, and here he comes crossing the blue line. Yamal with space, shot on, he scores! Yamal off the post and into the back of the net. Strikes first for Last Dance.
What a snipe. Jamal the man just stepping up on the play. We talked about how these defenders of Last Dance can really be useful on the offensive side of things as well, and that's exactly why he's just able to walk right in, and a little bit of a surprising shot there. Just beats takedown on the short side post.
Last Dance have it in the offensive zone. Controlled by Lundstrom, some space to the slot shot on, gloved away by takedown. Working hard behind the scenes to try to get everything cleaned up and get a new feed. As a shot hits the post and goes! Mikes, the captain, takes the lead for Mythics! Last Dance trying to get one more possession, but Sokolo still holding on to it, and Mythics are going to hold on and take game number 5, a 2-1 victory over Last Dance, and Mythics 1 win away from being crowned ECL Elite Division champion. Comes Last Dance, a potential 2-on-1. Eki controlling it, pass the ball, shot on, and he scores! Puanzo!
The Last Dance does not want this game to be their last dance. They're coming in hot, and Puanzo is gonna be the first one to score in this game 6, and I mean, they're not going down without a fight.
Looking it up is Yamal, finds Puanzo, shot on, he scores! Puanzo doubles it up for Last Dance!
A massive goal to extend the lead to 2, and wants a little L2 backskate move there and cuts to the front of the net and is able to get that forehand shot off. Just a beautiful 5-hole finish.
Penalty going to be called against Last Dance, so Mythic's going to have a power play opportunity unless they score here. And between the legs, big up backhand score! Oh, what a move from a cuckoo!
Are you kidding me? Game 6 of the finals and you pull off a move like that. The defenseman joins the rush, the between the legs move, and the finish on the backhand. Are you kidding me?
Controlled by by Eki for a second, but then lost. Here's Puanso looking for goal number 3, and he gets it! A hat trick for Puanso in an elimination game! And just like that, Last Dance are back up by 2 once again. Brings it all the way to the right point and is given up to Nicky Dangles. Shot on one-timer, he scores! Nicky Dangles puts it in the back of the net! And Last Dance stepping up with their backs against the wall. Maul tried to center it, but nobody there to pick it up. There's a Nicky Dangles shot. They score! Who else? Puanso again!
Another goal. They extend their lead all the way to 5-1 now, and as you see there, all of a sudden it's not so serious anymore in that lobby.
With possession, trying to center it over to Sokolo, but it's turned over as Eki dishes it over to Puanso. Pass in front, shot, they score! Nicky Dangles! It slides in past the red line. Going to get to that. Not going to be able to make anything happen on it, however, and that will do it. Last Dance. Well, the Dance going to go for at least one more step. A 6-1 Game 6 win. Their backs against the wall. The pressure turned all the way up to 100. And they respond with a convincing victory to push this to a decisive Game 7. And you see the smiles on the faces of Nicky Dangles and Lundstrom and company. They know they have extended their championship hopes, and it's all going to come down to 60 minutes or maybe a little more. Zone draw here for Last Dance to the left side of takedown. Tied up and won by Mythics, and here's Templeton with some speed. Has Sokolo with him. Pass across, shot on save by Hanselino. Still looking for a first goal of it right here. Last Dance having the offensive zone. One-time blast from Puanso, denied by takedown.
This game just a little bit slower compared to a lot of the other games in the series. Obviously, Game 7, neither team wants to give up anything.
Yeah, that's just a shift in mentality, and you feel like a game like that could go in the favor of Mythics, a team that have not had a lot of goal-scoring punch in this series outside of Game 4, but are so good defensively. The Last Dance, they love the fly, they love the pace as the shot from the point, stopped by takedown. Eki behind the net, dishes it over to the left wall, and it's picked up by Lundstrom. Has it with Puanso, shot into the glove of takedown. Mythics on the counterattack, Templeton with a pass across, couldn't find a home there. It's picked up by Lundstrom, and now Last Dance on the counterattack, less than 7 minutes to go. There's a shot there from the point from Lundstrom, blockered away by takedown, his 10th save of the game. At the left wall, 5 minutes to go in regulation. Could the next goal be the winner and our first goal of the game? Eki shot hits the post on the tip! Puanso got a piece of that one. One in the offensive zone by Mythics. This is controlled by Kunku, but he's forced out into the neutral zone. 2 seconds to go. Last chance for Mythics, not gonna get a shot off. And folks, the championship is gonna be decided with one play, one goal, overtime coming up in game number 7. It is past midnight in Europe, and one of these two teams will be leaving it with an Elite Division trophy. One goal, one hero, one champion. We are underway for overtime. And thank you to our sponsors, COVID Unlocknessy, Game Changer, and WellNet for their support as Last Dance have possession, and it's moved over to Yamal. Lundstrom moves up to Eki, a breakaway, can't get it off! And it's not gonna be a penalty shot, it's a power play, a critical call.
No penalty shot called? No penalty shot called, and it's just gonna be a 2 minute, but Oh wow, I mean it will still be a chance for Last Dance to end it, but that could be considered a little bit of a robbery not to get a penalty shot out of that.
The offensive zone has a shot on there, saved by takedown. Another chance off the bounce. Another shot denied by takedown once again. Last Dance, no pressure. Shot on, they score! Nikki Dangles! It's over! Last Dance wins the ECL Elite Division Championship!
What a sequence of events! And Last Dance! You see the cameras right there. They have done it! Game 7, overtime! So many chances to score right there on that power play, and finally it's Nikke, the man who we were saying he hasn't been showing up on the score sheet, but right when it matters the most, Game 7, overtime winner, and Last Dance are your champions.